We got on the Farm Bureau guest line. Here's Leah Long. She is she's with the National Federation of Independent Small Businesses, director for Mississippi and Louisiana. She's working today. She is on the road. Leah, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us on the Gallo Show.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me.
So we get a new report, came out a couple of days ago from the Small Business Optimism Index, and it sounds like there's reasonably good news for small business owners?
I would say reasonable, yes. The report did show that there was a rise in optimism, and, I think just now that we've kind of rounded out the election, it's over. Not that, we're surely on a path forward, but I think now that that's over, some of these business owners, they know that was happening, and now that they can kind of focus on what it may look like for them in the next coming years. So I think that's important. There was a rise in uptake in sales, and so that's definitely, as we kind of round into the holiday season, which a lot of these business owners, especially retailers, rely on, they're kind of being optimistic that maybe that will continue and sales will go up and obviously revenue will go up.
So, Leah, are these numbers in this report, are they anecdotal or are they data-driven? I mean, do you have business owners who are saying, hey, here are my books, let me show you where we are, or is this kind of from conversations and almost polling, like, where you're like, hey, how's it going? Well, we're up a little bit. How scientific is this?
It's a little bit of both, I would say. I mean, it's data-driven, and it's also just listening to their concerns. Some of them will say, hey, okay, sales are up. Yes, data shows that, but we're still facing uncertain issues and, issues like inflation, the economy. So, when they're saying sales are up and the rise is up, yes, it is, but there's still many challenges that our small business owners are dealing with. And, I always talk about on the show labor quality, and, there are jobs that are open, and we're trying to get people in those, but it's a workforce quality issue. And I know one thing, they're saying that, we're rolling into the holiday season. A concern of some small business owners are they going to be able to have the employees that are qualified to work these jobs, whether you're retail or you're some sort of service industry job, being able to have that and have those employees there as the busy holiday season approaches. So I would say a little bit of both.
Yeah, so take me a little deeper on that. As you're traveling, as you're talking with business owners across the spectrum, right? I mean, you mentioned retail, service industry, but then we've got so many. I mean, it's almost crazy, right? Sometimes we start thinking, a small business, what does that mean? Well, that means the mom and pop store down the street from me. That means the boutique. That means the restaurant. But, like, the umbrella of what small business is massive.
Yeah, it's every industry. I like to say, it's every industry in the economy, from your local farmer, your poultry farmer in Mississippi to, someone that owns a restaurant or someone that owns a grocery store. I mean, it's everything. So, not every small business is alike, but they all are facing, economy, inflation challenges. And I think that's something to always remember. Obviously a farmer's not going to need a server, but, you know what I mean? Like, so
yeah.
Every business is different, and the challenges they face internally are different, but they're all still affected by inflation, economy, labor shortage issues. That's something that hits them directly, whether what industry you're in or not.
And you know what? Your point that a farmer doesn't necessarily need to hire a server, you're right, but through the years, I mean, as I've talked with farmers and small business owners, restaurants, boutiques, factories, small factories like a tool and die shop, there has been one consistent that I've heard over and over and over. If I could just find some good help, I mean, construction industry, like fill in the blank. People are looking to hire good people, even if they don't have positions that are necessarily open today. It's incredible.
Yeah, and you think about a small business owner invests a lot in hiring an employee. A big company has, a full HR team, and they can sit there. But more than likely, if you're hired at a small business, if they don't have a full HR team, they may have someone, but you're going to meet with that owner, and they've got to figure out how to keep you there, how to basically, engage you that you stay, and they want to offer you a good compensation package. They want to offer you insurance, but it costs to hire someone. That's what I tell people a lot on small business. Like, you invest your capital in this person, and you hope that they are going to stay there because you're investing money into them to hire them to make your business grow and obviously make them grow as an employee. And so that's one thing too, when you talk about jobs. Of course, there's jobs everywhere, but you got to have a quality workforce to be able to enter those jobs. Because if not, let's say a small business owner, hires someone, it doesn't work out. They're not qualified. They're not able to do the job that's needed done, and you have invested this money to train, to do whatever you need to do, and then 4 weeks later, the employee's gone. You kind of lose money that way. So that's important on small business owners, investing in their employees that are qualified.
Visiting with Leah Long. She's the director for Mississippi and Louisiana of the National Federation of Independent Small Businesses. I know we've kind of hit on this as we've kind of bounced from topic to topic, but as you visit with business owners, what is the refrain that you are hearing over and over?
It's just that they're struggling because inflation and the economy. That's their biggest issues. 23% of owners actually reported still, and I think the number has stayed about the same the last few months, that inflation was their single most important problem in operating their business. So that's across the board, every business owner you talk to. I think you maybe even talk to every, American. That's something they're all dealing with. So that's their biggest issue right now.
I'm curious how business owners are looking at revenue, and like let's just take a round number. Let's say that a year ago your top line revenue was $1 million and you were profitable. If you make $1 million again this year and are profitable, do business owners feel like that is a win given kind of the uncertainty, or does that feel like because of inflation, we really took a step back?
I think it depends on the type of business and everything else. But I think regardless of what their net revenue is going to be at the end of the year, I think they do realize that it probably could have been more if inflation wasn't where it was. And I think that's probably their mindset. Obviously, as long as
and it could have been worse.
It could have been worse, but as long as their doors are operating, the bills are paid, people are paid, they're doing okay and surviving. I think at the end of the day, that's the small business mindset is, okay, we've continued, we've made it another year, we've made it another month. And I said, I think last month on the show, that a small business owner goes to own and operate their own business because they're passionate about what they're doing.
Yeah. And
so I think that is what drives them, every month, every year. If it's a bad year, inflation's high, that is what drives them to continue. And I think at the end of the day, when they look at their numbers, if they're able to survive and whether they are making a profit or not, that's kind of their goal of like, okay, it could have been worse, it could have been better, and how do we continue to make our business better for the next year?
Yeah, it's a fascinating way to look at it. I mean, if you think about a publicly traded company, everything is about profit and quarterly reports and showing those earnings reports, and your stock price fluctuates. Do you find that with a lot of small businesses, it's about cash flow more than anything else? I mean, kind of like you were talking about, all the bills were paid, we kept the doors open, we were able to pay the salaries, and we can go to work for another year. Does it feel like that for you as a key difference?
I think that's a big difference. And, I actually was talking to a few small business owners the other day, and it was a restaurant, and so the owner actually told me, hey, the first 10 years of owning this restaurant, I never even put myself on the payroll. And so that's something you have to think about. They want to make sure their business strives. They want to make sure their employees are taken care of. They want to keep prices, average for consumers so they're not losing business. And so that's something, too. At the end of the day, these people that sign the checks and own and operate that business, sometimes they may not even be on the payroll. They're trying to get their business off the ground. They're trying to make it succeed. And sometimes you have to take a lot of cuts internally to be able to do that. And that's part of owning and operating a small business. But at the end of the day, people that own and operate a small business, they say it is worth it because you are kind of your own person. Yeah. You're able to control everything in the environment, and you had a dream or a goal or whatever it may have been, and that's what is coming to fruition.
Hey, last thing for you, only about 30 seconds left. Are there resources that are available? I mean, we're talking about existing businesses right now, but for people who've got that dream, who want to become a small business owner, are there resources available at NFIB to help somebody go down that road?
I mean, we have a lot of information. I would say join our website, look on the website and see. And if we don't have directly what they're looking for, we can get you in touch. I mean, the small business group on the DC level, being able to give you that information. But I always tell people, visit the website. There's a lot of information, and we do keep people updated on things that business owners are facing and new laws and regulations and that kind of stuff. But I would say, visit the website and see what you're looking for, and then contact one of us, and we can try to point you in the right direction.
NFIB.com is the website. Leah Long, who is the director in Mississippi and Louisiana. Thanks so much for your time today. Safe travels to you.
Yes, thank you.
Leah Long joining us on the Gallo Radio Show on SuperTalk Mississippi. Quick time out, and then we are back with more with you on the Gallo Radio Show.